You imagined it was you. Oh, you did. You did. We all wish it was us. That's why we believe.
In Denis Villeneuve's science fiction film Blade Runner 2049, Ryan Gosling plays Kay, a Blade Runner whose job is to hunt down or retire rogue and dissenting replicants, genetically engineered, synthetic humans. Kay himself is a replicant who, after retiring a replicant protein farmer laying low, easily passes his post-traumatic baseline tests, an examination designed to assess the extent of psychological trauma in replicants. When Kay unearths evidence indicating that replicants are capable of sexual reproduction, he is tasked by his superior with tracking down and retiring the offspring of Richard Deckard and Rachel from the first film, to conceal a truth that threatens to provoke an all-out war between replicants and humans. As the story progresses, Kay begins to suspect that his artificial memories, implanted to make him more human, are authentic. He realizes that he was the replicant child all along, failing his post-traumatic baseline test and seeking out Deckard to elucidate his origins. However, Kay is separated from Deckard, who is detained and interrogated by the corrupt Dr. Wallace. Kay later learns from the leader of the Replicant Freedom Movement that, to his disappointment, he is not the offspring of Deckard and Rachel. A twist reveals that his vivid childhood memory of a wooden toy horse belonged to Rachel and Deckard's true offspring, Dr. Anna Stelline, a manufacturer of artificial memories who gave Kay the idea that he was
Born, not made.
Except for the jaw-dropping visuals and goosebumps-inducing score, my preliminary viewing of Blade Runner 2049 in IMAX 3D underwhelmed me, and I wasn't the only one who felt this way.
Blade Runner 2049, which I must admit I didn't actually finish. I kind of fell asleep. Loved the original, but something about this one wasn't kind of ticking my particular subjective box.
The problems of Blade Runner 2049 are its slow pace.
That's where it kind of
hard.
killed it for me.
Blade Runner 2049, which was a very pretty, dull film with a bunch of people walking very slowly up to doorways or through hallways.
7 months later, I watched the movie a second time and developed a deeper appreciation for the point it was trying to illustrate. I looked past the slow burn pace to find a thoughtful, nuanced philosophical commentary. In true Blade Runner fashion, 2049, like its predecessor, didn't make nearly as much money as it should have. It was also commonly misunderstood by critics and general audiences at release. And finally, behind it is a perspective-shifting but easily eluded message about what it means to be human in a world whose technological advances have accelerated a kind of moral decay. If the message behind the original Blade Runner was the transience of human existence, the message behind 2049 is the futility of human individuality. It communicates this message by addressing heavy questions such as, what does it mean to be born, not made? How do we deal with the prospect that we are not the central protagonist of our stories? That we're just an average Joe, no more or less important than everyone else. If we're not technically human but possess the capacity for sentience, can we still possess a soul? And if the soul exists, what is it composed of? Kay does not object to murdering his own kind when he perceives them as malfunctioning machines. Deckard expresses a similar sentiment in the first film.
Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. If they're a benefit, it's not my problem.
When it occurs to him that replicants are more biological than mechanical, he experiences an identity disturbance that catalyzes a moral transformation, contrasting so starkly with the film's dark and oppressive atmosphere. In a character-defining scene, Kay observes a 3D hologram advertising the artificially intelligent girlfriend, Joy, a variant of whom Kay dated before her death by Wallace's replicant servant. Kay realizes that Like the joy in the holographic advertisement, he is a carbon copy of every replicant that yearns to be human, but has yet to demonstrate its humanity. At the film's climax, Kay pursues Deckard in love, killing Love, rescuing Deckard, and reuniting him with his estranged daughter, the true protagonist of the movie. He has demonstrated his humanity, completing his character arc and dying peacefully from his wounds.
And the question is, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what leadership, what books, what gifts will die with you? A very good friend that I lost recently, Miles Monroe, said, the wealthiest place on the planet is not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. He said the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery, because there you find potential never realized. There you find dreams never pursued. There you find people allow themselves to be imprisoned by fear and living a small life.
Due to its poor box office performance, we probably won't ever see a direct sequel to Blade Runner 2049 depicting the war between humans and replicants. Villeneuve has stated that if he ever revisited the Blade Runner universe, it would have to be something, quote, disconnected from both other movies. One thing's for certain, Blade Runner 2049 will age like a fine wine that you keep in the cellar but don't open until a special occasion. The reason is not necessarily the compelling characters, the engaging story, or even the jaw-dropping visuals, but the depth and substance of its philosophical message. Kay started off as an average Joe created for a singular purpose. But what compelled Kay to take life away at the beginning of the film compels him to preserve life at the end of the film. We don't know what happens after Deckard meets his daughter, but Kay's actions will have ripple effects in the Blade Runner universe for decades to come, paving the way for the liberation of replicants from their creators. So what hidden wisdom can we find in Blade Runner 2049? Like Kay when he believed that he was the first truly human replicant, we believe that out of the 8 billion people on the planet, we are the first to bring something truly fresh, exciting, and unique to the table. But chances are, someone else has already come along and used their talents to accomplish more than we could ever hope to accomplish in 10 lifetimes. Think about it this way. Jesus Christ founded Christianity. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Charles Darwin introduced the theory of evolution. And many more great minds redefined social, political, religious, and scientific institutions to the degree that the modern world couldn't exist without their contributions. Of these great minds, could we be so self-centered as to believe that ours is even greater? Parents often tell their children at a very young age that they're special, and while there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, they focus too much on their children's inherent value and not enough on their potential value. Maybe one of us is the next Jesus Christ, Thomas Edison, or Charles Darwin. But to reserve a special place in history, we'll need to bend the rules a little bit and test the boundaries of individual potential. In other words, it's not enough to recognize the inherent value we bring to the world. We have to act upon it, too. Denis Villeneuve is one of my favorite directors of all time, and it's disappointing that Blade Runner 2049's box office performance didn't meet his expectations. What matters is that it is a cinematic achievement, a masterclass example of how to do a sequel to a 30-year-old film the right way. If it hasn't already, then over time it will gain a dedicated fanbase. If you're a Blade Runner fan or you found value in this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to show your support. This has been Mark of Wisdom in Everything, signing out.